Hey, Sean, you touched on this last night after the game, but I wanted to ask you again, based on watching the film and looking at the numbers, did it all reaffirm to you the importance of a ground game, particularly at this time of year?
Yeah, I mean, it's us just, developing as a football team, Adam, and it's really just, mindset, mentality, and the ground game. You have to be able to run the ball. It's tough to be one-dimensional, whether you're one-dimensional running-wise or throwing-wise, and be able to win in this league.
And just to follow up, how can you characterize whatever may be going on in terms of your discussions with Brandon, with the trade deadline looming, kind of the mode or mindset that you guys are in?
Yeah, I know Brandon is always looking for ways to improve our football team, and I know the deadline is fast approaching here. So, nothing we know of right now in terms of in the works, but I know he's continuing to watch and see if anything would be a right fit for us.
You're 6-2 and in first place, obviously, having had a good amount of success. Do you feel you need more to push you over the top?
Well, I like the players that we have in our locker room, and I have a lot of confidence in the players we have inside our building. So, I'll leave the rest of it up to Brandon.
All right. Thank you, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, Matt Bove here. I know coaches often like to break the season down into smaller chunks, whether it be quarters, halves, whatever that may be. We're at the halfway point. You guys are 6-2. From your vantage point, what have you guys done well, and what still needs to be better?
Well, there's certainly things that we've done well. Winning 6 games doesn't come easy, so we're doing a lot of things well. And there's some things that certainly we can improve on. And I think just overall, I like how we've developed, in terms of offensively with the passing game early, now the run game, and I think that bodes well moving forward. And then defensively, I like how our defensive line is doing some things up front of late with the quarterback and the rush element, and our special teams, overall, I think they've continued to play fast and physical and fundamentally sound. So certainly a lot to work on, though, and I know as a staff today we tried to outline those key points so that we can go to work on those over the next couple of days here.
Is there a point when you feel like a team should hit its stride? I know that we're at the halfway point. Does that ever happen? Or is there like a particular moment where you're like, by this time we should be playing as good as we can be playing? Or does that continuously evolve as the season moves along?
Well, I think most coaches would say that they want to hit their stride in November and December, when the leaves are coming off the trees. I think overall, at the end of the day, you're always trying to just win one game. And rosters change week to week. Lineups change week to week because of injuries and the challenges that normally come, and then now with COVID. So right now you're just trying to find 1 week wins and do the best you can to put the best lineup out there.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, good afternoon. Always good to see you.
You too, Sal.
So when Josh Norman had his punch out in Vegas, he talked about, learning it from Charles Tillman, the peanut punch. And I know you have a relationship with Charles, and I believe back in 2017, he visited practice for a little while, and you guys, he talked about that. But then Justin did the same thing basically yesterday. So how much of that is actually, taught at practice on the smaller scale? And a bigger picture here is how much of that has changed coaching defensive football and a way to go after a football and actually becoming an actual technique of the game?
Well, it is something that we teach. At the end of the day, the players are the ones that have to execute it. But Leslie and his staff, and I know Heath and Smiles, our defense or our special teams coaches, do a great job of emphasizing that and coaching it. And we try and do it on the other side, on the offensive side and special teams side, style of securing the ball as well. So it's become a fundamental for us on both sides of the ball and special teams, and one that we take seriously.
And on the recovery, the little things that go unnoticed, I know that, teaching guys to always go to the football, always go to the end of the play, being right there. A guy like Dean Marlowe, I asked him about it afterwards. Does that not speak to, is that a great film lesson you can teach to say, that's why we teach you to go all the way to the play?
That's why you took the words right from, that's why we run to the ball. And you got to play longer and harder. And I think it just goes to show you never know what play is going to make the difference. It could be the last play of the game. It could be the first play of the game. You got to do it every play. And that's the discipline side of it, right? Being 111th and embracing that mentality. And another great example of it, Sal, is Tyler Metikevich's play on the onside, surprise onsides there. So, are you going to be disciplined on every other play or every play? And that's a mindset, and our players do a great job embracing that mindset.
No one could ever complain about pursuit drill when they see something like that.
That's right. That's right.
Thanks.
Hey, Sean, you guys added Darron Lee to your practice squad. What did you see from him in his workout, and what could he potentially bring in that linebackers room?
Well, as I said earlier, in response to Adam's question, Brandon's always looking at ways we can improve, and Darron's played some snaps in the league, obviously, and so has some skill that we want to take a longer look at and see if it fits us, and so really that's all I can tell you at this point.
And yesterday, when Mitch got hurt, you went to Ryan Bates off the bench for that one drive. Then you moved Feliciano over to center, and then Ike Bucker. Can you walk us through the thinking there? And also, how did you think Ike Bucker played? Because it seemed like he had a pretty good game.
Yeah, I thought Ike improved from this week, from last week to this week, and we expect the same moving forward. And then, Feliciano and Bates, I thought both did a good job as well. So it was good to see those guys be prepared and step in and do a great job.
Okay, thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, obviously every season has its ups and downs, and this one clearly has had some unique things happen already in the first half. How would you characterize how your team has come through some of these ebbs and flows and where you stand right now at 6-2?
Well, I think there's a fabric to winning, and there's a DNA to winning, and I think our team has embraced some of those challenges and risen above those challenges in a lot of ways. With going on the road a couple times now, and going through different just experiences, whether it's coming from behind, whether it's playing through a weather delay in Miami, winning close games. And I would say just overall, those are good threads of a team that knows how to win. And so, look, there's a lot of meat on the bone yet. There's a lot we can do better, starting with me, and so that's where we have to continue to be humble and hungry for the next challenge, which this week is a huge challenge with the Seahawks coming in here.
Have you figured out, or maybe you don't care, but have you figured out the identity for both your offense and your defense yet? I mean, do you think you've got an identity on both sides of the ball, and what would it be?
Yeah. I think we're working on it, honestly, Sal. To be very forthcoming with you, I think we're working on it, and I think that's also exciting because I think there's better football yet to be coached and played, and so maybe it's because the short run up to the start, honestly, but we do have some new pieces, and so like every team, there's attrition through some injuries and challenges and whatnot, but I think we're still figuring out our true identity and maybe how good we can be as a football team, and because I feel like there's still more out there for us.
Okay, thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Coach, I know you probably haven't turned the tape on yet with the Seahawks, but what do you know about the Seahawks team? They're 6-1. What can you say just about a Pete Carroll coached Seahawks team and the quarterback in Russell Wilson?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of respect for Coach Carroll, one of the best to coach our sport in professional football for, a long time now. And so Super Bowl winning coach, and, Russell Wilson, the talented roster, along with Russell, and dynamic playmakers. I think they're the highest scoring offense in the league. So we won't sleep much this week. Maybe they will, but I can tell you we won't. And but we've got to have a great week of preparation, and we've got a lot of respect for them and what they do.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, Tim Graham here.
Hey, Tim.
Can you give an update on Mitch Morse?
Yeah, he's in the concussion protocol.
What's your level of concern with him given his concussion history?
Yeah, I'm not going to go any further on that, Tim. Like for all these guys in the concussion protocol, that's where we are.
Okay. Understandable. Regarding Matt Perino's question about earlier, moving John Feliciano to center, and with him, this being his first game back,
Yeah.
can you give any kind of background on what snaps he was getting at center or anything like that? Because I'm sure he had limited time and getting ready just to play a game, and then all of a sudden he's moved to this position. What was that like for him?
Yeah, he got 0.0 snaps at center during the week. No, I don't. I mean, he may have gotten a couple here and there, but his time, to your point, Tim, in all honesty, has been limited in terms of coming back. So we were just trying to get him acclimated at guard, and he may have gotten a snap here or there just in the normal kind of moving pieces around up front that you do during the week. But he's played it last year and done a nice job. So I thought it was good to see him get back in there, and I thought overall a good day for our offensive line.
What would you say needs to happen here for this week of preparation with your interior offensive line and your moving parts? How will you, I guess, plot out the next coming days in practice?
Yeah, like all positions, you get some news, whether it's during the game or after the game, and some today about who's available, who's not available, and who's limited, and what day they'll be able to practice. So it's always part of my job and Brandon's job on Mondays. A large part of it is seeing who's available so we can tell the coaches who they can use and when they'll have them.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, thanks for taking a couple of minutes this afternoon. Hope you're doing well. I know you've talked a lot since you arrived about being a balanced offense and being able to run and pass the ball. And I think most of the time, at least myself, I think of balance as in one game. You want to be able to do both. Is it possible to be a balanced offense and do it maybe every week, have something else be maybe a little stronger in one area than the other?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just overall, without getting too deep into the weeds and strategy here, Josh. It's about developing a football team and doing what you feel like it takes to win a game, and with a lot of factors that and variables that factor into that equation, right? So it's who we have, it's who they have, it's weather, it's there's a lot that goes into it. So. Same thing on the defensive side and special teams. We're always trying to give ourselves the best chance to win in a complementary way as a football team.
Just to follow up a little bit, what was asked, I think Sal asked about the identity. How close do you feel you are to getting that identity and being exactly what you want to be?
Yeah, I think we're getting there. We're not there yet. I think we're getting there. So each week, one of the goals is for us to continue to grow as an overall football team in all three phases, and certainly when you have opportunities like we had this past weekend, it gives you grow stronger when you share experiences as a football team. And I think one of the other questions was about moments and what you have. And so I understand we're at the halfway point. Everyone wants to write that story. There's a lot of football yet to be coached and a lot of football yet to be played. So we're just looking forward to this next opportunity, honestly, against the Seahawks and a good football team, and just a big challenge for us here.